so long. No one cares about this stuff. They care about, real American voters. We care about affordability and other real things, not about Epstein. Yes, it's salacious. Yes, there's sex and girls and powerful politicians, but quite honestly, I don't care about it. But now
you don't know what was missed. I don't know.
So
it's a good question.
I will say,
you guys are
said the case was closed.
You guys are throwing terms like around. Well, we can go back and take a look and see who
Jeffrey
was a
Epstein
pedophile.
is
the Democrats just had a major loss with the government shutdown, and we need to change the narrative, right? We need to flip it back onto the Epstein files. Really, guys?
see an investigation.
Family show. So this is like an F around and find out moment for the Democrats. They wanted to do things like what you were doing, throw the word pet around. They wanted to leak documents this week. These are all valid questions.
But Lance, why did the president say the case was
Let me
closed?
finish. I let you talk. It wasn't good enough that the House Oversight Committee was doing their investigation and releasing droves and droves of documents. No, but these guys.
But they released the information about Trump too.
What information? You guys have been leaking
The
information all week.
the files the president said should be released.
That's my whole
What do you
point.
mean, you guys? I'm not here to shill for the Democratic Party.
Well, it sure sounds
I think
like
they
you
should
are.
release it on Trump. I think they should release it on Democrats. Whatever they have.
This is interesting because
Hello, everybody. Guys, we got punk ass on the panel today, and I couldn't believe my eyes. But we got Maui from the Disney Moana movie. Unbelievable. Let's get into this segment, and we'll talk about it.
The time when the wolf actually shows up. Here with me now, the team. Let's go. So, why investigate? The biggest thing that has happened is Donald Trump's social media at the end of the week saying that in light of all of this, even though I could have done this and instructed this a long time ago, even though the file, we said it was case closed, he's now saying that he's asking Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice, together with our great patriots at the FBI, to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement and relationship with Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, J.P. Morgan Chase, and many other people and institutions to determine what was going on with them and him. Why investigate now and not just release the files?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, look, how can anyone, even people who are supporters of the president, know what's going on here? The president knows he's in the Epstein files. He sits on the Epstein files. In July, the Justice Department and the FBI say, nothing to see here, the case is closed. Donald Trump, more leaks about being in the Epstein files, has to create a distraction. All of a sudden, the case is back open. Even though the FBI and DOJ said the case was closed, what new evidence do they have? I don't know. Apparently, it's because the president just wants to put the attention on someone else. That's so obvious what is happening here. Anyone knows it. And by the way, the littlest detail to me was the biggest thing about all of this. Is this week, Kate, they were trying to strong-arm Republicans into pushing this discharge petition out of the House. You know where they did that? The White House Situation Room. You know how many conference rooms there are in the White House? I've worked there. There's a lot of conference rooms. You only do things in the White House Situation Room when, wait for this, you don't want it to become public and you're trying to hide it. They are trying to hide something. They're trying to hide the president's involvement with Jeffrey Epstein.
Important caveat. Donald Trump has not been accused of anything illegal. Donald Trump has not been accused of any wrongdoing, which reinforces the question of why do you think he's going down this path, Angie?
Why now? Well, because Democrats just had a major loss with the government shutdown, and we need to change the narrative, right? We need to flip it back onto the Epstein files. Really, guys? We're going to recycle something that's been dead for so long. No one cares about this stuff. They care about, real American voters. We care about affordability and other real things, not about Epstein. Yes, it's salacious. Yes, there's sex and girls and powerful politicians, but quite honestly, I don't care about it. But now we have to flip the narrative because Democrats had a loss. I don't know. I think this has been recycled too many times.
Kind of a bizarre position. You don't care that the president might be a pedophile? You don't care that the
pedophile. No.
You don't. No evidence of that at all.
No, there's no evidence of it, but that's what. No, it's not insane. That's what we've been talking about all week.
There is no evidence of that. We are not going to.
No, but that's what the emails have been talking about. That's what we've been talking about all week. That's why he doesn't want to release the files. And to say that nobody cares is kind of absurd. If the president is a pedophile, we should know about it, and people would care about that.
All right, no one is suggesting that President Trump is a pedophile. The nobody cares element of it is part of the issue, which is basically the entire Trump cabinet had said that they wanted these files released.
Yes.
As they were, so that is the problem that they have now. I mean, you've got...
He literally said might. Might. No one said definitively because we don't have the effing files. Like, she is so disgusting. What's her name? Angie Wong, Angie Ding Dong there? Maui from the Moana movie. Do you understand what she just did there? How she downplayed it. It's not sex with young girls. It's rape. These were effing children. Like, and another thing, real Americans, she says she doesn't care. Real Americans don't care about this stuff. Your own party wouldn't consider you a real American, Angie Wong. Like, to say no one cares about this and to be so damn certain that Trump isn't part of all of this is just so insane to me. This is why we call you guys a cult. Let's be real. Could you imagine if it was Biden? I mean, we are way past making these kinds of comparisons. But to act like, yeah, if it was Biden, you would say this? Who cares? Let's focus on something else, guys. At minimum, wouldn't you want to stop this from happening in the future? By holding the most powerful people accountable if they are involved? Which it looks like they effing are. You know, it's almost like, I don't know, Angie Wong there, like all of us know something's really bad in there. I mean, beyond just embarrassing. Like, they all try to pretend it's about. Trump has been lying through his teeth since the beginning of this. He called his own supporters stupid. His own supporters stupid for wanting this. He was pushing this on his campaign. And all his little dumb minions. All these stupid online Republican pundits with their little binder smiling like giggling idiots. They used this as a weapon. That's the only reason these Republicans ever effing cared. And now the cat's out the bag and they can't control it. And it's so beyond obvious that Trump is involved. They're freaking out. Wait till you see punk ass. Oh, let's talk about Mamdani. Affordability. What are you guys going to do on affordability? That's the worst topic for you guys to talk about. You guys don't want to do anything on that. Shut up. Bill Clinton. How about Bill Clinton? Okay. Yeah, get his ass too. I don't care.
You have the president saying that he wants to see an investigation now.
He
wants to see an investigation.
Family show. So this is like an F around and find out moment for the Democrats. They wanted to do things like what you were doing, throw the word pedophile around. They wanted to leak documents this week that were redacted to try to embarrass the president. Well, now the Democrats want to get to the bottom of this. Well, let's have a new investigation. Let's reopen. Who knows what might have been missed? Let's see what Bill Clinton was doing on the plane with Jeffrey Epstein. Let's see what Larry Summers was doing. Why did J.P. Morgan Chase settle for $300 million with these victims? I think these are all valid questions.
But Lance, why did the president say the case was closed?
I let you talk. It wasn't good enough that the House Oversight Committee was doing their investigation and releasing droves and droves of documents. No, because you guys had a bad week on the government shutdown front, you wanted to start leaking.
Right.
Hold on.
We will now.
Time out on you guys.
But it's not
I'm not a Democrat. What new evidence is there?
Look, we know that they were on the
what new evidence is there?
We don't know what was missed. I don't know.
So,
it's a good question.
I will say,
why did the
you guys
DOJ
are
say the
throwing
case was closed?
You guys are throwing terms like pedophile around. Well, we can go back and take a look and see who
Jeffrey
was a
Epstein
pedophile
is a
and was hanging
pedophile.
around with the pedophile.
So one of the interesting bits about it is Ro Khanna, one of the
calling Trump the pedophile,
which he has not been accused.
He said might. He said effing might. And he said Democrats are in the F around and find out phase. It's always projection with these idiots. That's literally what's happening to Trump and Republicans. Effing morons. This guy is freaking out. He's about to have a heart attack.
That is not the issue at hand. Ro Khanna, who's one of the members of Congress who has led the charge on the discharge procedure, he said late this week, like, fine. That's great that actually the Justice Department wants to investigate. As part of, we want to have the files put out. They investigated files. They could have put this out. This does not need an act of Congress.
Then why
to have
did
these
the
files
Democrats
put out.
object when Representative Tim Burchett of Tennessee said, well, let's just do unanimous consent and get this out the door today? No, the Democrats objected. Why? Because they want to put Republicans onto a vote so they can try to use it in the next election. It is all political garbage from them. The president is 100% correct.
Could all of these things be true at once? That
why not just vote
people
for it?
actually want the investigative files out? That the White House doesn't want them, Donald Trump does not want them to be released. And both sides are using an opportunity, Donald Trump in a social media tweet late this week, and Democrats at the beginning of the week, to their political advantage of when they actually put things out. I mean, can all these things be true at once?
Yes.
But doesn't the end result still come down to why not just put everything out?
Totally.
That would be great.
I
Let's do
just,
that.
like,
Why
I
wouldn't the
don't
president
think-
do that? Why won't the
A
FBI?
lot of
have
people
that.
will
The
say
House
that they do not
Oversight-
think
we
that
have
Donald Trump
the
did
House
anything
Oversight-
wrong. He may face embarrassment, but not like he's going to face more than that.
The House Oversight Committee has released nearly 50,000 documents. The Epstein estate has released documents. The documents continue forthcoming. They are proceeding on a bipartisan basis in Congress. That's what shows you the Democrats are using this
but
as
Lance,
a political.
but Lance,
That's not good enough.
more do you need?
So you think they should release the information about these Democrats, right?
I think we could absolutely do a reinvestigation or take a look at what these guys.
Should they
are doing
release the
this week.
information about Trump too?
Release what information? You guys have been leaking
The
information
files,
all week.
the files the president said should be released.
That's my whole
What do you
point.
mean, you guys? I'm not here to shill for the Democratic Party.
Well, it sure sounds
I think
like
they
you
should
are.
release it on Trump.
It sounds like
I think
you
they should release it on
absolutely are.
Democrats. Whatever
But
they
this,
have.
But this is interesting because
on this
it's not.
convicted pedophile, release it.
This is not a DR issue because polling shows both Republicans and Democrats want to see this out. So to take this as like, well, let's look at Bill Clinton, let's look at Larry Summers, you're taking a Republican perspective. We as a country want to know what happened. We should know what happened. It's not a left-right issue. Why won't we just know what happened?
I'm a lifelong
And
conservative.
just look at
Let it all out.
and just look at who all is going to be voting on this discharge
I think to
petition.
your
You're going to have a
point,
lot of Republicans who want as well. You had John Kennedy. I can even play it, guys. Let's play what Republican Senator John Kennedy said about what this is going to look like when it comes to the Senate. Listen to this.
Before I let this jackass speak, guys, these people are freaking the F out. You see punk ass there panicking for dear life, all to protect their dear cult daddy, Trump. And I haven't seen any Democrat say Trump is definitively a PDF file. What is said is that at minimum, it looks like he's covering up for something really bad and possibly criminal. Possibly. And by the looks of his behavior with this issue, it doesn't seem reasonable to believe that it's just embarrassing. Seeing as Trump is probably the most shameless person I've ever seen on TV. You have to be an absolute fool to think otherwise. Completely brain dead. Admitted to a hospital to think that, oh, nothing to see here. Everything looks good. Everything looks above board. Trump's behavior is reflective of an innocent man. And again, if Trump doesn't want to be accused of this, Republicans don't want to deal with this, release the damn files. I just don't understand. That's just a question. It's a simple question that they're not able to answer. This all could be cleared up. But punk ass knows. They know. Angie Ding Dong there knows. Republicans keep trying to defend this all you want. All you want. There's no justification for it. Remember, guys, these are the Christian conservatives. Ah, very good. Very good. So Christian of you.
I just don't think this issue is going to go away until that issue is addressed and answered to the American people's satisfaction. And I may end up with a sombrero on my head for saying that, but that's the way I see it. I think he ought to put it on the floor. I think this issue has got to be resolved one way or the other.
He's talking about John Thune, the Republican leader in the Senate.
Yeah.
He thinks he's going to have to put it to the floor. Gets to the floor. Let's make big assumptions. It's going to pass through the House. It gets put on the floor. It's going to pass through the Senate. Do you think there is a chance that Donald Trump would veto this?
Of course.
I do, yeah.
I don't think so at all. Why would he
he
veto?
will.
He wants this
Why would he
information out
He
there.
doesn't have to do any of this.
want
He
this
doesn't need the
out. That
vote.
is a
He could do it
fantasy.
right
He does
now.
not want
he
this
could do it right
out.
now.
He
Why is he
has.
waiting for a vote of Congress,
He's-
Angie?
He actually
asking the
doesn't need to
DOJ
do
to
anything.
push
The
it
Justice
out.
Department can release it on their own.
Why
They
is
haven't
he
been able
waiting
to do
for
this entire time.
Congress to pass it? Why doesn't he just tweeted new investigations into private American citizens? Why can't he just tweet?
Miles, just because you have a really unique perspective on the idea of being investigated, being a target of Donald Trump's. Now, if you like fold in the Eric Swalwell element of this,
Yeah.
you've got now the president says he wants the Eric Swalwell to be investigated by the Justice Department, and as you see from what he wants to have, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, all these others. What is it? What on a human level is it like when the president's attention with your name goes public like that?
Yeah, it's completely bonkers. It destroys your life. It destroys your life. And people can disagree with me about my criticisms of Trump. Yeah, I served in his administration. Right. I criticized him from in that administration. I left that administration. But he accused me of treason, a crime punishable by death. If I'm a guilty person of a crime tantamount to murder, why am I sitting at this table with you guys? Why am I not in handcuffs and in jail? Because there's no evidence that I'm guilty of treason. But the President of the United States making that claim about private American citizens is pretty scary. And what I would say to my friends that are fellow conservatives is that when a Democrat's in power, do we want a Democrat doing this? Tweeting investigations into existence, accusing people of crimes punishable by death? Guys, this isn't cool, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. So anyone defending the President of the United States, I don't care if there's a D or R by his name, unilaterally tweeting investigations into private American citizens, we should all be condemning that, okay? And it does wreck people's lives financially, Threats not just against me. You can hate me, but why do you hate my wife? Why do you make threats against my 1-year-old daughter? That's not okay. This president is fanning the flames of that. He's abusing the justice system. I don't care if you say the last administration did or didn't. I'm not in a debate about weaponization. We could fix it now by stopping letting this happen. And Eric Swalwell this week, the people the president just said were going to be investigated, are casualties in this lawlessness.
It just is, I was thinking about it when you were coming on, because it is, no matter what, it is breaking. I mean, saying the words, I know you guys will roll your eyes, but like how normal it is that he tweets out time to investigate, and how not normal it still is that the president does, and the impact of it. All right, let's continue. Coming up for us.
Guys, I have to say this. Miles Taylor, he got that dog in him. He deserves a lot of respect. He was working under Trump and stood against him, knowing it would screw his career over and put him in danger with his weird cultist base, which it has clearly. And he did it effing anyways. You get my respect. I don't care if he's a lifelong Republican. You get my respect for that. And guys, Miles Taylor is right. What he said earlier, Trump and the DOJ can release it tonight. Tonight. Like, these people just lie. The more they, like, more than they just speak truthfully. He refuses. Trump doesn't want this out. Obviously. Shut up. He refuses. Just refuses to say he won't pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. Why won't he just say he won't do that? Why? For an embarrassing thing? Just something a little embarrassing? Un poquito embarrassing? That's it? Like, guys, it's been reported that part of her new benefits, and I can't believe I forgot to say this earlier, that Trump gave her by moving her to this lower prison. Like, why the F would he do that? Why? But whatever. I mean, she gets to play with effing puppies. Are you kidding me? She gets to play with puppies. It's been reported, guys. You can look that up yourself. Guys, she may have a better life than some of us here. From the sounds of the treatment she is getting in this prison, it's incredible. Do you get to pet puppies and play around with them throughout your day? Let alone after committing vicious, I mean truly vicious, heinous crimes. But no, guys, it's papi, mommy, nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Let's look into Bill Clinton. Just amazing. And guys, listen to this. This is the last bit of my rant here. There was a poll done on this a couple days ago on Republicans. 45%, almost half, approve of how Trump has been handling the Epstein files. Diablo. That's just so insane to me, because you would have to believe that out of the other half of Republican that says they don't approve of how he's handling the Epstein files, I would think most of those people, maybe even more than maybe half or more than half, think that Trump isn't involved whatsoever in this. Like, think about that for a second. Only half believe that Trump is not handling the Epstein files right. Out of that half, I don't believe all of them think Trump is involved. I would think less than half think he's involved. This is incredible to me. They're completely blinded. Maybe he's just covering up for friends. Maybe it's just a little embarrassing. Nothing too big. Just a little couple drawings, right? Watch how they try to justify this in their little brains as more and more things come out. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Please leave a like, subscribe. Really helps the channel. Really helps push the message out there. And I'll catch you in the next one.